Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayla and I like to talk about books, movies, fantasy, lots of different things, but mostly I like to talk about books. So let's just talk about some books. Today I sort of just wanted to do a casual TBR, to be read video and talk about some of the things I'm really excited to read in February 2022 this year, and just kind of, I don't know, talk about some upcoming books I'm excited about. So if you're interested in that, then definitely keep watching. If not, that's fine, you don't have to watch. That being said, let's just go ahead and get started. I'm really excited about the first book that I'm going to read this month, which is A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms by George R.R. Martin. I've definitely been kind of missing a little bit of a fantasy hole in my life lately. I haven't read a ton of fantasy. I've definitely focused more on, well, I did a lot of like holiday reads, and then I did some mysteries, and the book I read before the one I'm currently reading was very lighthearted, so I'm kind of just excited to see what this is about. I bought a new copy and everything. I took my baby to the bookstore on a little date and got this. Super excited about it. Yeah, I don't know, not a lot else to say except that adding to my collection. I'll definitely do a whole dedicated review on this in the next few weeks, but please bear with me. Like, I am unexpectedly moving this week and I cannot tell you the stress. Like, moving already I feel like is so stressful. Unexpectedly moving with like a week's notice it's a lot to handle, but you know, we're doing our best, we're getting through it. So if some of my reviews that I'm gonna do, they honestly just might be kind of delayed, and my apologies for that, but a little bit beyond my control. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. Sorry, if anybody doesn't know, this is the like Dunk and Egg adventures, and it takes place before the events of A Song of Ice and Fire, before like Game of Thrones, before that era. It's about like 100 years before that. So it takes place about 100 years before that, and it's about a knight called Sir Duncan the Tall and Egg, and I don't know like the details, but I think it's just a collection of like little stories and kind of like stuff that they get up to. So it sounds really cute. I love the idea of something that is still set in this universe that is not necessarily, I mean, obviously it's still connected to A Song of Ice and Fire, but it's not necessarily like part of that main plot line, that main I don't know what to say, that main story. I like that it's set earlier, so I'm really excited about this. I also like want to read the Fire and Blood, but I felt more drawn to this at this particular moment in time, so I'm gonna do this one first, but stay tuned for the rest of the year because I think I'll probably do Fire and Blood at some point later in 2022 as well. But yeah, so this is the first book I'm really excited to read this month. The next book that I'm very excited to read this month, I actually don't have a copy of yet because it's like a pre-order and will come in the day it's released, and that is The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. I did a couple of Lucy Foley reviews last year. I discovered her books last year and definitely think that she has a really great vibe to her books. I think like what she excels in is kind of creating an atmosphere. So I'm very excited to see what this book is like, because the other two books I read by her, The Guest List and The Hunting Party, they both take place in really remote, harsh landscapes, and that's kind of a key element to those stories. So I'm very curious to see what it looks like when she writes a story that takes place in a very populated city like Paris. So very curious to see. I wonder if she can create a really unique atmosphere with that. I'm guessing yes. Very excited to see, but again, I will have a dedicated review to that once I read it, because I want to read and review it hopefully like within the week it comes out. I mean, we'll see with the move and everything, but I'm really hoping for that. Again though, I mean, I wanted to read Good Rich People and have a review up already by now, but I'm still actually reading the book because life gets in the way of my reading. Ugh, why does life get in the way of my reading? I'm just kidding. But I will have that review up, probably not until next week or something, but I'm just curious to see Lucy Foley doing something maybe a little bit different, or yeah, what she does with that. So very excited. I actually don't know a lot of the details about the plot, except that it's obviously just like another murder mystery, which is her thing. So the next I don't know if you just saw my dog come in, but she's wearing, poor thing, the cone today because she was picking at a hot spot and she just has a lot of anxiety. She gets anxious, so she wanted to be in here with me and she has to wear the cone. Anyway, sorry. The next book that I'm excited to read in February, but I might not get to until the very end of the month. I'll be totally honest, I actually might not even get to it until March now that I know about the move. But that is The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan. It's obviously kind of like quite the undertaking. So we'll see if I break into it. I'm not gonna like reading is fun, reading is a hobby, so I'm not gonna like stress myself out if I don't get to it because obviously I have a lot of packing and unpacking and other stuff to do. But I'm really excited to read this because last year, was it last year? I don't actually remember if it was the beginning of 2021 or the end of 2020. I think it was the beginning of 2021. I read the first Wheel of Time book and I had like mixed feelings about it. So I was kind of like, well, if I'm lukewarm about it, I'm not gonna like read the second one right away or anything like that. But a lot of people actually gave me feedback and were like, no, like it is a 13 book series. So like honestly, it kind of doesn't even really pick up that much until the second book, which is crazy because a lot happened in the first book. But I kind of get that because I'm like, a 13 book series, yeah, I think maybe you need to for sure give the first like 2 books a good read to see whether or not you're hooked. So I'm taking that advice and I am going to read The Great Hunt, hopefully in February. Like I said, it might be like that I start in February and end in March, something like that. I will do a dedicated review to this as well. I guess I'm doing dedicated reviews to all these books, but I'll do a dedicated review to this as well and see like where my thoughts are on this series after reading the second book and whether or not I continue, etc., which is just so nice. I don't really have a lot more to talk about. February is a short month and like I said, I'm gonna be really busy, so I'm not gonna like plan to read that much probably. For sure I'm gonna get to A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms and The Paris Apartment. Those are 2 books that I definitely am going to be reading. It's kind of like a tentative TBR. I don't know. Sorry if this is kind of rambly. I just sort of wanted to talk books for a second and take my mind off of all of the stress and everything. So thank you for letting me talk books. Let me know below what you're planning to read in February and if you've read any of these books, like what your thoughts are, please without spoiling, but you know, want to talk some books. Other than that, this is gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you later and I think I will be a little bit more together. So, oh, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you.